In the sun-bleached town of Solara, Southern California, where dusty roads shimmered under a relentless sun and hope often faded like a desert mirage, lived a young woman named Elena Zion. At 25, her eyes held a quiet strength, shadowed by years of struggle. Her mother's death years ago had fractured her world. Her father, Mr. Carter, once a warm-hearted mechanic fixing neighbors' cars with a smile, had crumbled into a bitter man, lost in whiskey's haze. Worse still, he'd married Mrs. Basadatsas, Lila, a woman whose sharp tongue and cold heart cut deeper than any blade. They forced Elena Zion to toil endlessly cooking meals she rarely ate, scrubbing floors until her hands cracked, tending the overgrown garden from dawn to dusk, and sleeping on a threadbare mat in the cluttered garage. The people of Solara whispered sympathy for her, but fear of Mr. Carter's temper kept them silent. Elena Zion found solace in small acts of defiance. She'd sneak moments to read tattered books from the town library, dreaming of a life beyond Solara's confines. Her favorite was a worn poetry collection, its pages soft from her touch, where she'd lose herself in words of freedom and love. But dreams were hard to hold when hunger gnawed and Mrs. Lila's cruel taunts echoed. "You're nothing but a burden," she'd sneer, tossing scraps for Elena Zion's dinner. Into this world stepped Lucas, a newcomer from the city. His jeans were faded, his boots scuffed, but his eyes sparkled with a quiet intensity. He'd taken a job at Mr. Carter's junkyard, hauling rusted metal, repairing engines, and enduring the sun's brutal heat. For months, he worked without complaint, but Mr. Carter dodged payment with empty promises. "Come back next week," he'd mutter, waving Lucas off. "I'll have something when I sell a few parts." But weeks passed, and no money came. One blistering afternoon, Lucas, sweat-soaked and fed up, confronted him. "Sir, I need my wages today. I've earned them." Mr. Carter leaned against a rusted truck, scratching his stubble. His gaze drifted to Elena Zion, kneeling in the dirt, scrubbing oil stains from the driveway, her face etched with exhaustion. A wicked grin spread across his face. "You want payment?" he asked, voice sly. "Yes, sir. I worked hard. Pay me what I'm owed," Lucas said, his tone firm. Mr. Carter chuckled, a low, cruel sound. "Well, take that girl instead." Lucas blinked, caught off guard. "Take who?" "My daughter," Mr. Carter said, pointing at Elena Zion. "She's good for nothing. Take her to the city. That's your payment." Elena Zion's heart stopped. The rag slipped from her hand, and she stared at her father, disbelief choking her. "Daddy, please, no," she whispered, voice trembling. "Shut up," he roared, slamming his fist on the truck. "Be grateful someone will have you." Mrs. Lila stepped onto the porch, arms crossed, a smirk curling her lips. Good riddance. One less mouth to feed. Elena Zion dropped to her knees, tears spilling, her pleas a desperate murmur. "Please, don't do this." But no one cared. Her father's eyes were cold, Mrs. Lila's gleeful. The neighbors, peering from cracked blinds, stayed silent. Lucas watched her, his chest tightening. She was broken, yet there was a fire in her, a beauty, not just in her weary face, but in the way she held herself, unyielding despite the pain. "She's incredible," he said under his breath. "What'd you say?" Mr. Carter snapped, narrowing his eyes. Lucas straightened. "I'll take her." The words hung heavy. Elena Zion's world tilted. With shaking hands, she gathered her few possessions, a faded dress, a pair of worn sandals, her mother's old locket, and the poetry books stuffing them into a tattered duffel bag. No one offered comfort. No one said goodbye. Only her half-sister, Sophie, 8 years old, stood by the fence, her small face streaked with tears as she waved. Elena Zion's heart ached, but she forced herself to walk away, following Lucas to the bus station, Solara shrinking behind her. The journey to the city was a blur of desert highways and fleeting towns. Elena Zion sat by the window, clutching her bag, watching cacti and billboards slide past. She felt unmoored, torn from a painful home, yet stepping into the unknown. Was Lucas kind, or would he reveal a cruelty like her father's? She pressed her forehead to the glass and prayed silently, "Please, let him be different. Give me peace. I'm so tired." Lucas sat beside her, quiet, his eyes tracing the horizon. Now and then, he glanced at her, noting the way she curled into herself, like someone bracing for a storm. He sighed, his own thoughts heavy, but said nothing. The city hit like a wave, skyscrapers piercing the sky, cars honking, neon signs flashing. Elena Zion gripped her bag tighter, overwhelmed. She'd never seen such chaos, such life. They boarded a rattling cab that wove through traffic to a quiet street lined with palm trees and manicured lawns. Lucas led her to a tall iron gate and knocked. It swung open, revealing a courtyard so pristine it stole her breath. A cream-colored mansion stood at its heart, flanked by blooming roses and a bubbling fountain. Elena Zion's mouth opened, but no words came. They passed the main house, stopping at a neat guest house tucked behind it. It had a cozy bedroom, a small living area, a kitchen, and a bathroom with gleaming tiles. "This is where I live," Lucas said, a soft smile breaking through. "I just started as a groundskeeper. The owner's generous. She lets me stay here free as long as I keep the property safe." Elena Zion stepped inside, her eyes wide. The space was humble but immaculate, with a proper bed, clean sheets, and a door that locked. Compared to her garage mat, it was a palace. "Really?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. "Yeah," Lucas nodded. "She lives in the main house with her son. It's a good setup." Elena Zion ran her fingers along the counter, marveling at its smoothness. A faint hope stirred. "If this is my path," she murmured, "then I'll walk it." The first night, Elena Zion lay awake, listening to the city's hum. No shouting, no footsteps to dread, just silence, wrapping her like a blanket. She traced the locket at her neck, her mother's voice echoing in memory. "You're stronger than you know, Elena Zion." For the first time, she believed it might be true. Days later, she woke to the aroma of coffee and sizzling bacon. Sunlight spilled through the window, warm and golden. She stretched, savoring the unfamiliar peace. No one had woken her with demands. No one loomed with threats. She wandered to the kitchen, where Lucas was flipping pancakes, humming off-key. "Morning, Elena Zion," he said, grinning. "Slept okay?" "Like a dream," she replied, a shy smile tugging at her lips. They laughed, the sound startling her with its ease. They ate together, the pancakes warm and sweet. Lucas pushed a plate of fruit toward her. "Eat up. I want you to meet someone today." "Who?" she asked, curiosity sparking. "You'll see. Just wear something simple." Elena Zion hesitated, glancing at her meager belongings. Lucas had bought her a few things, a soft dress, a pair of flats. She chose the dress, brushed her hair until it shone, and followed him, her heart thudding. They approached the main house, its oak door gleaming. It opened to reveal Mrs. Harper, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and a serene presence. "Morning, Lucas," she said warmly. "And who's this lovely young woman?" "This is Elena Zion, my wife," Lucas replied. Mrs. Harper's gaze softened. "So, you're the wife Lucas spoke of. You're radiant, dear. Come inside." Elena Zion stepped into a living room that gleamed with polished wood and plush furniture. She felt out of place, like a sparrow in a cathedral. Mrs. Harper took her hand gently. "Welcome, Elena Zion. I sense a sweet spirit in you. This house has room for peace. Make it your home. If you need anything, just ask." "Thank you, ma'am," Elena Zion said, her voice small. "Call me Mrs. Harper. Relax, okay?" She smiled, and Elena Zion felt a warmth she hadn't known in years. They chatted briefly, Mrs. Harper asking about Elena Zion's favorite foods, her love of books, before returning to the guest house. That evening, Elena Zion sat on the bed, folding clothes, her mind replaying the day. Lucas was tinkering with a loose cabinet hinge. "Lucas," she called softly. "Yeah?" He glanced up, screwdriver in hand. She twisted her locket, choosing her words. "When my father gave me to you, I felt like nothing, like I was garbage tossed aside. I was so scared you'd be worse, that you'd shout or hurt me, treat me like a shadow." Her voice cracked, tears welling. "But you didn't. You gave me a safe place, respect. You cooked for me," she wiped her face. "Thank you. I don't regret coming here anymore. I think maybe this was meant to be." Lucas set down his tools and sat beside her, taking her hand. "I'd never hurt you, Elena Zion. That's not the man I want to be." He paused, his eyes searching hers. "Truth is, I noticed you the first day at the junkyard. You were sweeping, head down, but there was this light in you. I wanted to talk to your father, but I thought he'd laugh me out of town, a nobody like me. When he offered you instead of payment, I was shocked, but deep down, I was glad. It felt like a chance." Elena Zion looked at their joined hands. I don't love you yet, Lucas. I know, he said gently, and I'm not pushing you. She nodded, a small smile breaking through. But I like how you see me, like I'm not broken, not a mistake, like I matter. He grinned, eyes crinkling. Because you do, Elena Zion. You're a treasure, just buried in the wrong place. She laughed, the sound freeing, and wiped another tear. Something new was growing: trust, respect, a seed of hope. Over the next month, Elena Zion settled into a rhythm. She explored the guest house kitchen, experimenting with recipes: spicy tacos, creamy soups, writing them in a notebook Lucas gave her, its cover embossed with stars. Cooking became her sanctuary, each dish a small victory. She'd hum her mother's old lullabies, the notes easing her scars. Lucas encouraged her, sampling her creations with exaggerated praise that made her blush. One morning, she ventured into Solara's city market with Lucas, a bustling maze of stalls selling mangoes, handmade jewelry, and sizzling street food. The colors dazzled her, the chatter a stark contrast to Solara's silence. She lingered at a book vendor, her fingers tracing a novel's spine. Lucas noticed and slipped away, returning with the book wrapped in brown paper. For you, he said, handing it to her. Elena Zion's eyes widened. Lucas, you didn't have to. I wanted to, he said simply. She hugged the book to her chest, gratitude swelling. Back at the guest house, she began helping around the main house, watering plants and polishing silver at Mrs. Harper's request. One afternoon, as they carried groceries together, Mrs. Harper paused. Elena Zion, sit with me. Elena Zion wiped her hands and sat, nervous. Mrs. Harper smiled. Lucas tells me you're a gifted cook, and I've tasted your work delicious. You're humble, diligent. My chef's away, and I need someone I trust. I'd like you to take her place. Elena Zion's breath caught. Me? Oh, ma'am, thank you. I'm honored. Mrs. Harper patted her hand. You've earned it. You're a rare soul. Joy bubbled inside her. Can I tell you something? Elena Zion asked, emboldened. I've always wanted to earn money, not for fancy things, but to go to college. I stopped after high school because of family, but I love learning. I want to study again. Mrs. Harper's eyes lit up. College? That's beautiful, Elena Zion. I admire ambition, especially in young women. I'm proud of you. Elena Zion's heart soared. She ran to the guest house, bursting through the door. Lucas, Mrs. Harper made me her chef. She'll pay me, and when I told her about college, she was so happy. Lucas swept her into a hug, laughing. That's my wife. You're unstoppable. She blushed, giggling. It's like a dream. And it's only the beginning, he said, eyes shining. That night, they lay side by side, the city's glow filtering through the curtains. Elena Zion's mind raced, too full to sleep. She turned to Lucas. Can I ask something? Anything, he said, rolling to face her. She hesitated. Why haven't you touched me since I came here? We're married. Most men would have right away. Lucas sat up, surprised, then softened. You're right, some would, but I'm not them. I didn't bring you here to take from you. I brought you to love you, to keep you safe. He met her gaze. You've carried so much hurt, I see it in your eyes, even when you laugh. I don't want to add to that. I want you to be ready, to choose me because you love me, not because you feel you owe me. He took her hand. That night, your father gave you away. It wounded you deeply. But Elena Zion, you're not worthless. You're everything strong, beautiful, whole. Tears rolled down her cheeks. You mean that? Every word. I want you to feel safe. She wiped her eyes, smiling. Thank you, Lucas. I thought all men were like my father, angry, selfish. But you're different. He kissed her forehead, gentle as a breeze. Sleep well, my star. Elena Zion nestled into the pillow, peace wrapping her heart. She wasn't just a wife, she was becoming a friend, a partner. Her new role as chef brought challenges. Mrs. Harper's kitchen was a world of gleaming appliances and exotic ingredients. Saffron, truffles, things Elena Zion had only read about. She studied recipes late into the night, determined to prove herself. One evening, she crafted a citrus-glazed salmon that left Mrs. Harper speechless. Elena Zion, this is divine, she said, taking another bite. You've got a gift. Elena Zion beamed, pride warming her. But not all days were smooth. 2 days into her job, the kitchen door swung open as she chopped herbs for a stew. Nathan, Mrs. Harper's son, stood there tall, polished, with a smile too smooth. "Well, damn," he said, leaning against the counter. "You're gorgeous." Elena Zion tensed, her knife pausing. "Good afternoon, sir," she said, eyes on her cutting board. "Mom said you were smart and pretty, but wow," Nathan went on, circling closer. "I thought she was exaggerating, but you're something else. Bet God spent extra time on you." Her stomach twisted. "Thank you, sir," she murmured, chopping faster. "Call me Nathan," he said, waving a hand. "None of this sir stuff." "No, sir, that's not proper," she replied, voice steady despite her unease. He laughed, lingering a moment before leaving. Elena Zion exhaled, shaken. That evening, she sat with Lucas on the guest house steps, the air cool. "Nathan came to the kitchen today," she said, frowning. "He said things called me beautiful, told me to use his name. It felt wrong." Lucas's jaw tightened, but he smiled gently. "Nathan's a charmer. He talks big, but doesn't mean harm. Don't let it get to you." She searched his face. "I didn't like how he looked at me like I was something to win." Lucas touched her hand. "You're okay. If he crosses a line, I'll step in. I promise." She nodded, but doubt lingered, a shadow she couldn't shake. Days later, Nathan returned, his presence filling the kitchen like a storm cloud. "Your cooking's got magic," he said, leaning close as she stirred a pot. "Elena Zion, I'm not here to play games. I like you, really like you. You're stunning, sharp, hard-working. Be mine, and I'll change your life." She froze, gripping the spoon. "Sir?" He stepped closer, voice low. "College? I'll send you abroad, London, New York, wherever. New phone, clothes, cash. You'll never scrape by again. Why waste time with a groundskeeper? I could have him fired by dinner." Elena Zion backed away, heart pounding. "With respect, sir, I'm not interested." Nathan's smile faltered. "What?" "I'm married, focused on my work, my dreams. I won't trade that for promises." He laughed, sharp. "Married? To that guy? You deserve better, a real life, not scrubbing pots for pennies." "I'm proud of Lucas," she said, voice firm. "He respects me, loves me. He may not have wealth now, but I believe in him." "You're dreaming," Nathan scoffed. "You'll regret this." "I'd rather dream with a man who cares than live a lie with someone who doesn't," she shot back. Nathan stared, then walked out, his jaw tight. That night, Elena Zion told Lucas, her voice trembling with anger, "He offered me everything, school, money, if I'd be his. Said he'd fire you or pay you off." Lucas stood, fists clenching, but he softened, seeing her distress. "What did you tell him?" "I said no. I told him I believe in us, in you." He pulled her close, voice thick. "Thank you, Elena Zion, for choosing me." They prayed together, their hands clasped, seeking strength. But Nathan's words festered. Elena Zion couldn't shake the unease, the sense of being hunted. She threw herself into work, perfecting dishes, but her smiles grew forced. One morning, she found a note slipped under the guest house door, Nathan's handwriting, offering one last chance to choose wisely. She tore it up, resolve hardening. She couldn't stay silent. Marching to the main house, she knocked, her pulse racing. Mrs. Harper answered, her smile fading at Elena Zion's expression. "What's wrong, dear?" "Ma'am, it's Nathan," Elena Zion said, voice steady. "He's been troubling me saying I should leave Lucas, promising money, school abroad. He said he'd fire Lucas to have me." Mrs. Harper's eyes widened. She ushered Elena Zion inside, sitting her down. After a long silence, she spoke softly. "Elena Zion, you're beautiful, wise. Maybe Nathan sees your potential. Perhaps consider his offer. We could give you everything, education, comfort. Lucas could be compensated to step aside." Elena Zion's hands shook, but her voice held firm. "With all due respect, ma'am, I'm not for sale. I married Lucas because he stood by me when no one did. When my father threw me away, he gave me dignity." Tears brimmed, but she pressed on. "I'd rather quit than betray him. If Nathan doesn't stop, we'll leave. I won't stay where I'm disrespected." Mrs. Harper opened her mouth, but Elena Zion stood, raising a hand. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'm done." She walked out, tears falling, but her steps were sure. Back at the guest house, she stopped short. Stacks of cash covered the table, crisp bills glinting in the light. "Lucas," she called, voice sharp. He emerged from the bedroom, calm. "My love, sit." She sat, eyes locked on the money. What's this? He took her hand. I've saved this for years, bit by bit, to start a business my dream. But today, seeing how you defended me, chose love over wealth, I knew you deserved more. Deserved what? She asked, confused. Use it for college. It's what you want. No, she said, shaking her head. I'm serious, he urged. So am I, she countered, standing. This is your dream, Lucas. You worked for it, bled for it. I won't let you give it up. He stared, stunned. Why not? Her eyes blazed with tears. Because I love you. Let's use this together. Rent a place. Start your business. I'll help cook, manage, whatever it takes. When it grows, I'll go to school. Together, step by step. You'd leave here? He asked, voice soft. Yes. I want peace hours, even if it's small. Lucas stepped closer, awe in his eyes. Elena Zion, you're not just beautiful. You're wise, my everything. She smiled, tears falling. And you're the only man I want. He pulled her into his arms, his own eyes misty. Thank you for standing by me. Always, she whispered. Their kiss was slow, deep, a promise sealed by trust. That night, they planned their future, sketching ideas for a small cafe, Elena Zion's recipes at its heart. They laughed, dreaming aloud, the moonlight their witness. Our days will shine, Elena Zion murmured. Together, Lucas echoed. The next morning, Lucas was gone when Elena Zion woke. She cleaned, her heart heavy from Mrs. Harper's words. A knock startled her. Mrs. Harper and Nathan stood outside, their faces solemn. Good morning, Elena Zion, Mrs. Harper said. We've come to apologize. Nathan nodded. I was a fool. Pride blinded me. Lucas is lucky you're a true partner. Mrs. Harper's eyes were warm. You're rare, Elena Zion. Women like you are treasures. We called you our wife yesterday, and we meant it. Elena Zion softened. Thank you, ma'am. I'm not angry. I forgive you. Mrs. Harper smiled, cryptic. You're my son's wife. Your son? Elena Zion frowned. You'll understand soon, Mrs. Harper said, hugging her. They left, leaving Elena Zion puzzled. That evening, Lucas returned, his face tired but bright. Where were you? Elena Zion asked, hands on hips. He took her hands. My love, I owe you an apology. For what? She asked, wary. For lying. He sat, pulling her down. Nathan's not just the landlord's son. He's my brother. Mrs. Harper isn't my boss. She's my mother. Elena Zion gasped, pulling back. Lucas, what? I'm sorry, he said, guilt in his eyes. I didn't plan to hide it long. I needed to know if someone could love me for me, not my money. I've been burned before women who wanted my wealth, not my heart. She crossed her arms. You went too far. I know. Forgive me, please. She studied him, then smirked. Fine, but you owe me big. He laughed, relief flooding him. Name it. A car and a mansion, she teased. Done, he grinned. She leapt into his arms, laughing. I love you, Lucas. I love you more, Doctor. Elena Zion to be, he whispered, kissing her deeply. The truth rippled through the city. Lucas, the groundskeeper, was a billionaire, heir to a real estate empire. When Mr. Carter heard, he choked on his whiskey, eyes wide with regret. He called Elena Zion, voice dripping with false humility. My daughter, I was wrong. Forgive me. Let Sophie stay with you. Times are hard. Elena Zion's voice was steel. Sir, I forgive you, but stay away from me and your cruel wife. I suffered enough under you. If Sophie needs real help, I'll provide it, but don't call with nonsense. She hung up, then whispered, Thank you for Lucas. Years passed. Elena Zion stood on a graduation stage, a white coat draped over her shoulders, a certified doctor. Lucas cheered, voice booming. That's my wife. He hugged her after, eyes shining. I'm so proud, baby. Thank you for believing in me, she said, kissing him. Best husband ever. One golden afternoon, Lucas drove her to a gated estate, stopping at a white mansion with golden accents. What's this? She asked. He dangled keys. Your mansion, my star. She screamed, laughing. You're joking. I promised you this. And a car, he said, pointing to a sleek sedan. She hugged him, tears mingling with joy. I've got news, she said, pulling back. What? He asked, grinning. I'm 3 months pregnant. Lucas froze, then whooped, lifting her gently. A baby? God, thank you. He knelt, kissing her stomach. Daddy loves you. Elena Zion smiled, tears falling. From discarded to cherished, she said. Truly, my name is Elena Zion. Their cafe thrived, a cozy haven where Elena Zion's recipes drew crowds. Sophie, now a teenager, joined them, safe from Solara's shadows. Elena Zion taught her to cook, to dream. As their family grew, so did their love, a testament to resilience, trust, and the beauty of standing together.